This is the inside of the Bailey Pegasus Genoa. If we firstly come to the main control panel, we can turn the 12 volt on just here. Beneath it we have the main isolator for all of the onboard lights. They can then all be individually turned on and off on their own switches. We have the awning light just here, water pump on and off just here. Whenever the pump is in operation, the light will illuminate to let you know it is running. We then have voltage of the leisure battery at the top. If we now move down to the front and we just remove this cushion, we have storage beneath, and then we also have the Truma combi boiler. To drain the boiler down for travel and winterization, we have the drain valve just there. Make sure the water pump is turned off, flap it up to the vertical position like so, and it will then start draining all the water out of the boiler. I always suggest that for full winterization that you also open up all of the taps around the caravan as well to release any airlocks in the system. To refill, just close back as it is now, fill up your aqua roll, drop your submersible in, close all the taps, turn the water pump on, let the pump run for a few minutes, then start opening the taps up, let them blow all the air out of the system. Once they're running freely on hot and cold, close them up and the system will then fully reprime itself. If we now close this one back up again, and we now move across to the other side, which I have already removed the cushions off. Again, we have storage which we can also gain access from the outside. We also have the control board for the Truma motor mover, and we can see the red isolator key for it just there. Above this bench seat we then have, in this overhead locker just here, the television aerial. This is also the radio antenna as well, so it does need to be raised when using the radio. To operate, undo and pop the mast up, you'll see the little green window just here. This represents the back of the aerial, so we know which way we're pointing. H is for horizontal. We can turn the tail and flip it on its side to the vertical position if we need more additional tuning. The Vision Plus booster box is just there, on and off on the top, and control the boost just here. Do make sure that the aerial is down again for travel. Beside this we have the radio, on and off just here on the one that says SRC. Volume control just here. Change tracks or search for radio stations just here. Easy graphic equalizer. If you need to go into the settings menu, just press the volume button in and then just rotate. So you can change your audio, your illumination, etc. all in here. Back button just there. And then turn back off again. If we now move to the cooker, we have the electric hot plate just there that works on main supply. Red light comes on to let you know it's in operation. Everything else is gas. So push in, twist and ignite. Beneath that we then have the grill. And the oven. Storage beneath, also some of the gas isolation taps, top one for the fridge, then we have in the middle the cooker and the bottom the boiler, all in the on position, and I do say they can actually stay like that, they're more for maintenance than anything else. Smell gas in the caravan, go to the bottle and isolate it from there. Storage again. Cutlery drawer. If we now flap down just here, we have the consumer unit. So we have the individual MCBs just here, and they're labelled up. The main RCD and the test button just there. So if something's not working on mains, first port of call to see whether or not you've tripped. We then have the 12 volt fuses just down here, and again they're all labelled up. So again, if something isn't working on 12 volt, just come and check to see whether or not you've blown a fuse. The leisure battery on this model is sunk into the floor. So if I now pull up the carpet, you can see the leisure battery just there, and then beside that we also have the lowering point for the spare wheel. Next we have the microwave. Again, will work when hooked up to main supply. This is an eco microwave, so we do need to press the eco button to wake it up. Then it's fairly normal stuff, quick start, stop just here. We have the auto cook at the top. Beneath that we then have the Dometic fridge freezer. So we have the controls just here. Main supply, 12 volt maintained for when we're towing. And gas, to light the unit on gas, come across to the temperature control, hold it in and press the igniter. The line will drift out of the white into the green to let you know it's lit. Freezer compartment just here, as shown on the little sticker. It can all be removed if required. Next we have the washroom. So we have the Thetford toilet just here, open to the cassette by sliding across, push to flush, and close to the cassette again just here. This will illuminate to let you know when the cassette needs emptying. We then have the basin and the shower cubicle. Do make sure that the shower screen is secured for travel. Wardrobe at the back. If we now come to the Truma control panel for the heating and hot water system, we turn it on just here. Once we turn it on, you will see a series of icons, and as I rotate the button, they begin to flash. So if we start with the first one just here, this one is for your heating. Click on it, heating is off. All we now do is rotate and pick whatever temperature we would like it to be inside the caravan, and it will go right the way up to a rather toasty 30 degrees. Click to store it in, and a little flame will appear in the top left hand corner there. Whenever the heating is in operation, the little flame will begin to flash, and it will continue to flash until the temperature has been achieved. If we now click again, we can then move to the next icon. This one here is for your hot water. Again, hot water is currently off. Rotate, and we can put the boiler in eco mode, which will give you a water temperature of about 40 degrees. We can put it in hot, which will give you a temperature of about 60 degrees. And we can also perform a boost on the boiler. The boost was mainly designed for if there's going to be more than one of you having showers in quick succession of each other. If you do perform the boost and the heating's running, it will turn the heating off as it needs to use that extra power to heat the water. And again, the icon will continue to flash until it achieves the temperature you have asked it. If we now move across to the next icon, this one here is your power source. So at the moment we are using mains electricity to do our heating and our hot water, indicated by the two little lightning strikes there. And that is mains electricity using 2 kilowatts. If I rotate, we can lower the power consumption to 1 kilowatt. Very handy if we're on a low amp site to try and stop ourselves from tripping. We can run on a mixture, so we can run on a mix of gas and mains at 2 kilowatts, or a mixture of gas and mains at 1. A mix is extremely handy, especially in the winter months. If you want to get up to temperature nice and quickly, it will only use the gas as it is required. And then lastly, if we have no main supply connected, we can solely run on gas. After that, we then have the circulation fan for the heating system. The fan is currently in eco mode. We can turn it up to high or boost. If we now drop to the lower icons, this first one here is for a basic timer. So if I now click on that, we then just set what time we would like the system to come on, and then when we would like it to end, and then we just tell it what we would like on within that time period. So let's say we want the heating at 18, we want water in eco, we want to use dual fuel, we'll leave the circulation fan in eco. Lastly, timer on or off. If I now activate the timer icon will come up there, and now within that time period those settings would apply. If I now go back to it, I can now turn it back off again, and when we return we can then alter it again. Next we have clock set. And then lastly, next to the little icon that's letting us know that we have main supply connected, we have the settings menu. So within that we just have offset for the onboard thermostat. If we don't think it's quite correct, we can just adjust it slightly. Temperature, just if you prefer it displayed in Celsius or Fahrenheit. Brightness of the screen. 12 or 24 hour clock. Language. Index, which is more for the technicians, it just lets them know what software it's running. And then lastly, full factory reset. From time to time, these panels will throw up error codes. They will usually be something relatively basic. So at the moment we're running on main supply. So if I now went and pulled the mains lead out, or I tripped, etc., it would flash up an error letting us know that it's lost mains. Same thing would occur if we were trying to run the system on gas and the gas bottle wasn't turned on or it was depleted. An error code will appear where my finger is here as a warning triangle. It will also display a series of letters and numbers within the manual, or if you Google it, it will tell you what the problem is. 9 times out of 10, as long as you rectify the problem, the error code will automatically go out. If it hasn't, just go back to it and double click on it. It will then sometimes say no error and disappear. If that doesn't work, if you've still got stuff running like I have at the moment, turn them off, because again it can reassess a heck of a lot faster when it's not trying to do lots of things. If that still does not work, I always then suggest doing a factory reset, because sometimes these panels can just glitch and they just need a reset. To make up the double bed, we need to firstly manoeuvre some cushions out of the way. So as you can see, I've removed all of the back cushions. If you're going to have 2 singles, you can literally just leave them as they are now if you wish. For the double, what I usually do first is flip it over like so, and flip this one over as well. So they're both now look like this. If we now pull out, and then all we need to do is just drop in both of the slim infills. And there we go, we have the double.